Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Now that Nationals is over, I figured I'd share with you guys the BlackWargreymon list that I played at Nationals. So starting things off with the Digitamas, I'm playing 4 of the BT9 Koromon. So what this card does is inheritable ability. While this Digimon has Agumon or Greymon in its name, it gets plus 1000 DP. Really good for the mirror match, which I did play a lot of. Basically what it does is it gives you enough DP to kind of swing over their other Digimon without crashing. And now starting off with the level 3s, I'm currently playing 4 of the promo Agumon. So what this Agumon does is inheritable ability, your turn. When this Digimon has Greymon in its name, it gets plus 2000 DP. So this card is really good. All of our level 4, 5s, and 6s do have Greymon in their name, so it naturally just gives all of them plus 2000 DP. Once again, that DP is very important so that you can swing into their bigger Digimon, especially if they're buffed with Yuya. Helps you get over them as well as kind of not die to other Omnimons into security. For the next level 3, we are playing 4 of the Searcher Agumon from BT5. So, on play, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 Digimon with Greymon in its name, and 1 Omnimon in its name, among them to your hand, and then you bottom deck the rest of them. So this card can help you potentially plus 2. We are playing some Omnimons in the deck, which I'll show you in a little bit, and then all of our level 4s, 5s, and 6s all have Greymon in their name, so this lets you pick up everything else that you're missing. The next level 3 that we're playing is 4 of the Agumon X Antibody. So what this does is it evolves from 0 from Agumon, and on play when Digivolving, you can reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 card with Greymon or Greymon or Omnimon in its name, and 1 X Antibody among them to your hand. So this card works really well in conjunction with this Agumon. So what you want to do is you want to play this Agumon for 3 cost. And then if you still have your turn, you can evolve this card on top of it to draw 1 and search 3 cards for some of your missing pieces. The last level 3 that we're playing is the Black Agumon from BT8. So on play, you reveal the top 4 cards of your deck, add 1 card with Greymon in its name and 1 Dragonkin and its traits among them to your hand. So basically what this card does is it lets you search off your level 4, 5, and 6s, and all of your level 6s do have Dragonkin in its traits. So if you do reveal 4 cards, and you then can pick 2 of them possibly. If you have a level 4, let's say you have a level 4, 5, and 6 revealed, you can take the level 6 and take one of the level 4s or level 5s. Next up for the level 4s, we are playing 4 of the BlackWargreymons from BT8. So the inheritable ability of this card is on your opponent's turn. When you have a red Digimon in play, this Digimon gains Blocker. Really good against some of the other decks like Crossheart. This way you can kind of prevent them from doing all that chip damage from you. And it also kind of helps prevent your opponent from taking more security, and also allows you, with one of the other cards in the deck, the new Metal Greymon X Antibody, allows you to kind of slowly chip your opponent down every time you restand after blocking. The next level 4 that we're playing is going to be 2 of the BT5 Greymons. So what it does is, when Digivolving, if this Digimon has Agumon in its Digivolution cards, gain 1 memory. So what that means is basically if you play the promo Agumon or the BT5 Agumon, you basically evolve this card for 1. Unfortunately, Agumon X Antibody does not count because of it specifically states Agumon in the name. So the inheritable ability of this card is your turn. When this Digimon has Omnimon or Greymon in its name, you get plus 2000 DP. Once again, another really good card that you'll need in the mirror match to kind of help swing over your opponent's Digimon. And for the last level 4, what I think is probably the best card in the deck, it's going to be 4 copies of the new Greymon X Antibody. So what this card does is evolves for 0 on top of a Greymon, which all of your level 4s are. And then your turn, when this Digimon would digivolve into a card with Greymon in its name, you reduce the cost by 1 for each of that card's colors. So essentially, what this card does is makes all of our level 5s evolve for 2 cost. So really good that so you can do this, keep your turn, and then possibly evolve into a level, when you evolve to a level 5, to pop one of their Digimon, and then you can attack going into with the X Antibody card to do some damage going into your level 6. The inheritable ability on this card also reads all turns. When this Digimon with Greymon or Omnimon in its name would be deleted or returned to your hand by or deck by an effect, by placing X Antibody from this Digimon's Digivolution cards at the bottom of its owner's deck, you can prevent that Digimon from leaving play. Really good card to inheritable ability to help prevent all of your guys being bounced from decks like BlackWargreymon, X Antibody, and All-Force. 2 decks I did play a couple times in during Nationals, and this card definitely helped me kind of win against those decks. Next card for level 5s, I do play one of the Metal Greymon Altarius mode. So this card does digivolve for free on top of a Metal Greymon and is also treated as Metal Greymon, which is really good because I can go to the BT8 Metal Greymon, which you'll see next, evolve on top of that for free, and then evolve in this card into Metal Greymon X Antibody to kind of stack the inheritable abilities. So when digivolving, if you have a Tamer in play, you can delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 5,000 DP or less. Really relevant to kind of help pop some of your opponent's little dudes to make sure that they can't get any further chip damage. The inheritable ability is also really good. All turns, when this Digimon has Greymon or Omnimon in its name, and an effect would delete it or return it back to your hand or deck, you may trash 2 of this cards of the same level as Digimon's Digivolution cards to prevent it from leaving play. So essentially what it does is it kind of repeats this Greymon X Antibody's ability, but rather than bottom decking an X Antibody, you just remove 2 of the sources that are the same level to kind of prevent that Digimon from being bounced to the hand or deck. So really good against Metal Greymon because sometimes they are able to bounce you multiple times. So having 2 layers of protection is really good. And like I was saying earlier, the next level 5 that we are playing is the Metal Greymon from BT8. So when digivolving, digivolve one of your opponent's Digimon, and then you can delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 3,000 DP or less. But what makes this card really good is the inheritable ability. Your turn, when this card has Dragonkin or Machine in its traits, it can attack your opponent's unsuspended Digimon. So that's really good because with one of our level 6s, you can evolve on top of this card, and then after you evolve, you can swing into your opponent's Digimon to delete it. Because most of the cards in this deck have protection against cards that delete by card effect, it's kind of the only way to get rid of some of your opponent's bigger dudes in the mirror match. And then for the last level 5, we are playing 3 copies of the Metal Greymon X Antibody. So it digivolves from Metal Greymon for a cost of 1, and when digivolving until the end of your opponent's turn, this Digimon can't have its DP reduced by opponent's effects and isn't affected by digivolve. So really good because most of the decks are playing this Metal Greymon in their decks. So basically when they evolve into this card, they aren't, after you evolve into this card, they aren't able to digivolve you, so you're able to keep your big stack. And then also, if this card has Metal Greymon or X Antibody in its trait or in its sources, you can delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 6,000 DP or less. So what makes this card really good is that on your opponent's turn, once per turn, when a Digimon becomes unsuspended, and this Digimon has Greymon or Omnimon in its name, you can trash the top card of the security stack. So basically what you want to do with this card is you want to kind of play the slow game with your BlackWargreymon and the blocker Greymon from before, to kind of keep blocking your opponent's Digimon, and then slowly keep kind of restanding and burning their security. And now finally going on to the level 6s, this is where I feel like my lineup differs a little bit from some of the other BlackWargreymon X lists. So starting off, I am playing 3 copies of the BlackWargreymon X Antibody. So he does digivolve from 2 from BlackWargreymon, has a natural reboot inheritable, and then Opponent's turn, you can switch the opponent's Digimon with the highest DP attack into this Digimon. So kind of against one stack decks like Metal Garurumon, usually when they swing with the Garurumon, they usually can't because of this card, because now you can just redirect all of their attacks into this. And then during your opponent's turn, when a Digimon becomes unsuspended, if this Digimon has BlackWargreymon or X Antibody in its Digivolution cards, you can maybe delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest play cost. So it also helps kind of fight against Metal Garurumon X Antibody in the sense that when they evolve into when they go into attack with their Garurumon, once they attack and unsuspend, you can automatically delete them. And then finally, for the last level 6, we are playing 3 Gaiomons. So this card helps quite a bit with the mirror match. The reasoning why is that it has Blitz if you have a red card in its sources, which you normally will have. So naturally it has a security attack +1 and reboot. And when digivolving, if this card has a black Digimon in its source, you can de-digivolve one of your opponent's Digimon, and if it has a red card in its source, you can Blitz. So essentially what the ideal play is you would evolve into Metal Greymon, and then from Metal Greymon, evolve on top with Gaiomon, and then once you would normally pass turn, but even though you pass turn, you still have Blitz, so you can declare an attack on their unsuspended Digimon and attack over it. And lastly, for the level 7s, I am playing 2 different Omnimon X Antibodies. The first one is going to be the BT5 Omnimon X Antibody. So when attacking, you can delete one of your opponent's Digimon with a DP less than or equal to this Digimon. But the real reason why we play this card is for the other effect. On the opponent's turn, when your opponent's Digimon attacks, you may trash 2 of this Digimon's Digivolution cards to end that attack. So basically, this card kind of helps prevent you from losing to Grandis Kawagumon, because whenever they would attack, you just remove 2 of your sources to stop them from attacking, and that basically stops their whole game plan. And then finally, for the last level 7, we are playing the Omnimon X Antibody. So he does Digivolve from level 6 for 7 cost, but you can reduce that cost if you do have an X Antibody. So if you have a card with X Antibody and its traits, the option card, you can reduce that cost by 2. And then when digivolving, you return all of your opponent's Digimon with the highest level to the bottom of its owner's deck in any order. And then when attacking, or when digivolving once per turn, by placing X Antibody or level 6 in this card's sources to the bottom of its owner's deck, you can reveal all of your security and trash one of them. So basically what this does is it kind of helps you a little bit against security control. I unfortunately did not play any security control decks while I was at Nats, but basically what you could do is you would evolve onto this and attack, and then they would reveal all of their security, and then from there you can pick out the security that would be the most troublesome, remove that, and then continue with your attack. So moving on to the Tamers, we are playing 2 of the new Black Tamer, Yuya Kuga. So start of your turn, he does set your memory to 3, and then whenever one of your Digimon digivolves into a card with Greymon in its name, you can suspend him to give that Digimon plus 2000 DP till the end of your opponent's turn, and then if it evolved into a Digimon of the same level, it can't be affected by option cards. A really cool thing that some people might not know with this card is that because your Digimon is no longer affected by option cards, if you were Ice Wall the previous turn and you do evolve into a card, say into a Greymon of the same level, that Greymon can still attack and is no longer affected by Ice Wall. So really good to kind of help prevent your Digimon being deleted from option cards in your opponent's security, as well as during your opponent's turn, it's going to be really hard for them to kind of delete your Digimon. Last tamer that we are playing the standard 3 cool boys in this list. So on play, you can reveal the top 3 cards. Add one Digimon card with X Antibody in its traits, and 1 option card with X Antibody, and bottom deck the rest. And then what makes this card really good is that when you digivolve into a Digimon of the same level with X Antibody in its traits, you can suspend him to gain 1 memory and draw a card. Kind of helps you extend your plays and also kind of dig a little further deeper into your deck. And speaking of the X Antibody card, we are playing 3 copies of it. So, in security, you gain a memory and you add it to your hand. And then when you put it underneath a Digimon, this card cannot be removed by effects. And then when attacking, when your Digimon attacks, you can use the X Antibody inheritable effect to digivolve that Digimon into an X Antibody card, paying for its digivolution cost. So really good. Say you declare an attack with Gaiomon and you need to kind of reveal security. What you can do is, if they have only 1 security left, you evolve into Gaiomon, declare an attack, and then you can go into Omnimon X Antibody, trash that last card that they have in security, and then swing for game. It did come up once during Nats, so I figured I'd let you guys know about that effect. And for one of our options, we are playing 1 red memory boost. So on play, you reveal the top 4 cards of your deck, add 1 red Digimon among them, and add it to your hand. And then main delay, you can remove this card from the battle area to gain 2 memory. Kind of helps extend your plays a little bit when you need a little bit of extra memory. And then finally, for the last option card that we are playing 2 copies of Hades Force. So honestly, really good option, best option in the deck. Kind of helps shut down decks like Crossheart, since you can delete all of the Tamers. But when you would use this card, if you have a Digimon with the X Antibody option and its Digivolution cards, you can reduce that cost by 2. So basically, you can play this for a 5 cost. And on main, you choose any number of your opponent's Digimon and Tamers whose combined play costs are less than or equal to a play cost of one of your Digimon with Greymon in its name, and delete all of them. Then one of your Digimon with Greymon in its name may attack a player. So basically, what you can do is, if say you have a Gaiomon out, play this Hades Force for 5. If you have the X Antibody option underneath, you can delete up to all cards on the field that have a play cost totaling up to 13, which for Crossheart will be a bunch of their Tamers that have Digimon underneath, that like their Taikis and their Taiki Kiriha Nenes. You can delete all of those and delete all of the Digimon underneath those as well. And then coming out of security, you can delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the highest play cost. So playing against Grandis, which is probably one of the other decks that you're most worried about, if they hit this into security, you can go ahead and delete their Grandis, and hopefully it's not the last card in security, and you'll live through all of their checks. But otherwise, that's my deck profile that I played for at Nats. I honestly didn't do too well, but I figured I'd share with you guys for the future so that you can kind of take what you want from this build, put your own spin on it, and hopefully you guys can do well at some of your other local tournaments. If you guys enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe.